Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I lost 30 pounds in 4 months. Let's get into the video. Okay, so to start the video, I'm going to be showing you a picture of how I started out. This was me just after I gave birth to my second child. Not just after, but a couple of weeks after I gave birth to my second child. This is the heaviest I've ever been in my life, and over here is what I look like now. I'm a lot more toned, obviously a lot of fat loss, and so here I weighed 232 pounds and now I weigh 200 pounds. So let's get into how I went from this to this. For a little bit of backstory, before I had kids, I have two. One is 5 and the other is 1. So before I had kids, my weight fluctuated anywhere from 165 pounds to about 172, 170. My height is 5'6". I've always been a curvier, thicker girl from when I was very young up until adulthood. When I got pregnant for the first time, I gained about 25. Well, I gained a total of 50 pounds. I lost half of that after giving birth and everything. And I was stuck at about 205, 204. When I got pregnant for the second time, I weighed about 212. So I weighed more going into my second pregnancy than after my first. With my second pregnancy, I gained about 40 pounds. I lost 20 of it or so after giving birth, and I was stuck at about 230, 232. Let's get into how I changed that. If you're currently postpartum and you're struggling with weight loss, just know that you're not the only one who has gone through this. I struggled with this a lot, and right before my son's 1-year birthday, I was like, okay, something has to change, because I hated how I looked, but even more than just hating how I looked, I hated how I felt. I was low energy, I didn't feel strong. So after my first pregnancy, I really wasn't concerned about taking care of myself in terms of being really physically active. I wasn't really physically active during my pregnancy, and I wasn't after. With my second pregnancy, I knew that I wanted to change my lifestyle after giving birth. So about 7 weeks after I gave birth, I got into the gym. So I started with weight training, and at first I was following different people's workouts, but I realized that I didn't like to watch the same video over and over again to do the same workout. So I started to build my own workouts on my phone in the notes section. And that worked a lot better for me because I was able to choose the workouts that I enjoyed, and I was able to choose the reps that I knew I could physically manage at the time. So I started weight training October 2022, and I've continued for a year. But even though I was getting stronger, I wasn't seeing a change in the scale. So starting at the end of June 2023, I decided to make a huge change, and I realized that my son was about to be 1 in July, and I was about to be 1 year postpartum. I decided that I really had to make a change because I wanted to feel and look my healthiest. So let's get into how I did that. I've always been a big snacker, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. And a lot of times when I snack more, it's due to stress. So my response to stress is to eat. Not only just snack, but also to eat bigger portions of food. So the eating had to change. I decided that it was really hard for me to force myself to just eat smaller portions, so I decided to start intermittent fasting. I'm sure you've heard about intermittent fasting before, but I want to explain to you how I decided to incorporate it into my lifestyle and how it just made sense for me. Maybe it'll make sense for you too. So with intermittent fasting, you have a certain number of hours, which I call an eating window, where you can eat and consume foods like you would regularly. For me, I am doing a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour eating window. So each day, my fast starts at 8 p.m. and I fast until 12 p.m. the next day. So from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. I eat. Cutting out that breakfast meal really changed the game for me because I'm already in a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is the key to losing weight. Because if you're consuming less calories, you're not going to gain weight. You're actually going to lose weight. And giving myself from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. to eat, I really didn't want to waste my calories. So let me get more into that. I decided that I needed to be in a calorie deficit. The intermittent fasting helped me and forced me to get into a deficit, but I also had to be really aware of what I was eating in that 12 to 8 p.m. Window. If I was going to Chick-fil-A twice a day and getting the deluxe meal and a milkshake, I'm going to be consuming more calories, even though I have a short amount of time to eat than most people typically do. What I did was I started loosely tracking my calories. I just downloaded a calorie app on my phone. I don't really use it anymore because now I'm more aware of the calories that I'm consuming. So I never counted my macros. I never really counted my calories. I did count my calories one day to get a feel for how much I consumed, and it turned out that I was right on track with about 1,300. So when I wake up in the morning, I just have a tea. That's either a ginger tea or a green tea. And I only do a very small amount of cane sugar in my tea. Having something warm like ginger tea or green tea really helps to almost reset my body, and it distracts me from the fact that I'm still fasting. Having something to sip on is nice. You can also do a really big tumbler or really big glass of lemon water. I like to have really cold water, so I'll put my ice cubes in, I'll slice some lemons and put it in, and I'll also squeeze in some lemon juice into my water bottle. And I just sip on that until it's time for me to break my fast at 12 p.m. This works a lot for me. Just waking up and not drinking anything is just gonna make you feel even more hungry. So make sure to get a lot of fluids in if you wanna do the same windows that I do. Obviously, some people, they will choose different windows. Maybe they'll wanna break their fast a bit earlier, or they'll wanna start their fast earlier. So it really depends. But for me, stopping my eating by 8 p.m., it doesn't feel like it's too late, and it doesn't feel like it's too early. For 12 p.m. to break my fast, I'll either have leftovers from the previous dinner, but that's just sometimes. I don't do that often. Most of the time, I'm still craving breakfast type food. So I'll either have whole wheat, low calorie, English muffin with butter and a boiled egg or two with a side of fruit, or I will have yogurt, my homemade granola with fruit in it. A lot of the times I'm using the same foods, but I'm just eating them in different ways. I'm making sure that I get in my protein, some carbs. These things have become really, really delicious to me. Before, I never would have said that I'm gonna have yogurt and granola and fruit. Like, I need something more. I need some, maybe some meat. I need a pancake, or I need something that's fried, like a fried egg, which I do occasionally have, but typically I opt for a boiled egg because there's no oil involved. So eating totally changed. Snacks, I really had to limit my snacks. If I want a snack, I will make a chia seed pudding the night before. I'll have that during the day, or I'll munch on my granola throughout the day, or something like that, or I'll have some fruits like those clementines. I'll have banana, anything that's gonna fill me up, but I'm not intaking a lot of calories, and I'm also not intaking food that's just not good for me. Like, I'm not gonna go out to Chick-fil-A and get waffle fries and Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't know why I keep using Chick-fil-A as an example, but eating definitely changed everything for me. You have to change your eating. Stop going out and eating processed, salty foods that are so bad for you. You will immediately feel so much better. You don't even have to necessarily go to the gym every day or multiple times a week. If you start with just changing your eating, the fat is going to melt off of your body. I'm telling you this because I've experienced this. And even though I was going to the gym, when I wasn't changing my eating, my weight was not moving. Sure, I was getting stronger, but my weight wasn't moving. And for me, I want to be at a certain weight, and I'm halfway. I still have about 30 pounds to go. So eating had to change. It just had to change. So for dinner, we always have something healthy. Protein, carbs, vegetables. That's typically what we do. I don't drink juice on a daily basis. If I'm drinking something, it's tea, water, or sparkling water. That's it. I don't drink juice. I don't drink soda unless it's for a special occasion. Like on Thanksgiving, I'll have a little glass of wine. That's another thing. I don't drink alcohol because to me, drinking calories is a waste of calories. Like I'd rather have a few pieces of chocolate than to have a really sugary drink. I always give myself a sweet snack at night. Something that's low calorie, but still really good. For example, I'll have maybe like an ice cream bar. Not the ones that are like 300 calories, the ones that are like 70 calories. I'll put it on the screen if I can remember, but it's a Mexican ice cream popsicle brand. I don't remember what it's called. Helados or something like that. Anyway, those are what I have. Or maybe I'll have like a little thing of ice cream, a chocolate bar, a couple pieces of chocolate, something like that, where it's not like I'm consuming a ton of calories at night before I go to sleep. It's like within at least 100 calories, sometimes 150 if it's like during my cycle and I just crave chocolate. So we covered intermittent fasting and we covered being in a calorie deficit. Now I want to talk about staying active. Now, some people really don't like going to the gym, and I didn't like going to the gym at first, but my mindset has totally changed and now it feels weird not going to the gym. So I weight train and I do cardio. Typically, I do cardio after every weight training session. I go to the gym about 4 to 5 times per week. If it's during my cycle, that's about 3 times per week. Because if I'm in a lot of pain, sometimes I can power through and go, and sometimes I can't. That's okay. Typically, on average, I'm at the gym 4 times a week. I'm weight training every day, but different body parts every day. So, for example, I'll do like 2 lower body, 2 upper body, 1 full body. Or if I'm only doing 4 days, then I'll do 2 upper body, 1 lower body, 1 full body. I kind of mix and match that way. After each session, I will go on the treadmill and go and walk. Some days, if I'm tired and I don't feel like it's gonna benefit me to weight train, I'll just do a full cardio day. On those days, I'll get on the Stairmaster for 10 to 15 minutes on speeds 3 to 5, and I will go onto the treadmill and walk for 30 minutes. I do 12 through 30. I don't know if you've heard of that, but I do 12 incline. I'm working my way up to 3 speed and then for 30 minutes, but my speeds are 2, 2.2, 2.4. Those are the speeds that I go in increments. So like for the first 10 minutes, I do 2 speed. The next 10 minutes, I do 2.2. The last 10 minutes, I do 2.4 speed. That works for me. I get a really good sweat in and my body feels good. If I don't feel like going to the gym and it's a really nice day out, I'll just go for a walk around the neighborhood. So there is that, staying active. And you might be a jogger, maybe you like to go for jogs, then do that. If you like to go for walks, do that. Moving your body is really, really important. If you like to swim, then do that. I will say though, strength training has changed the game for me. Strength training has just built another level of confidence in me, and I love seeing how toned my body is becoming and how muscular I'm becoming because of weight training. And my goal is that I want to be strong. I want to be strong and look strong. And weight training definitely does that. Not only does it do that, but you're also burning calories. And it's not like you have to lift crazy weights. You can just go in with 10 pounds for the entirety of your workouts and you're going to feel it. I mentioned my menstrual cycle before and how it does affect my workouts sometimes, but mostly it affects how I eat. A week before my cycle, my period starts, I get insane cravings that I almost cannot ignore. And typically they're cravings for salt and sweet. Chips and chocolate bars, that kind of thing. I allow myself to indulge, but not overindulge. I know that it's gonna be okay. Having a whole chocolate bar is not gonna kill your journey, but just know to keep yourself in the reins. Don't overdo it. Like, have a chocolate bar, enjoy it, but don't let that binge like eating continue like after your period is done and your cycle is done and you're still eating that way. Let it just be maintained or contained in those days where you're craving those things, and when your cycle is done, it's over. No more chocolates. Eat some fruits instead. That's how I look at it. In terms of training on my period, I still train because it actually takes away from the pain and makes my body feel better when I train. Sometimes it's not realistic to do heavy lifting. Most of the time it's not, depending on what point in your cycle. But typically if you're on like day 2, day 3, or day 1, day 2, you're not going to want to lift too heavy, but still get in the gym and still weight train and do cardio. For me, I can't do as much cardio, so instead of 30 minutes, I'll walk for maybe 20 or 15 minutes and then I'll get out of the gym. So listen to what your body is saying and you'll be good. And also though, don't be afraid to push yourself. When you're feeling good, when you're feeling strong, push the boundaries of how much effort you're putting into your workouts. Put in 110% and you're gonna see results. I think I'm on tip number 5 now. Read the ingredients on your food. This is so important and has made a huge impact on how my body feels. When you become sensitive to just how good your body feels, it's really going to make you more aware and conscious of what you're eating. Avoid preservatives, avoid high fructose corn syrup, avoid seed oils like canola oil, avoid trans fat, avoid artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. Start with those things and you're gonna see a huge impact on how your body feels, because when you're training and when you're being active, your body needs fuel. And not just any fuel, your body needs high quality fuel. Stop going to fast food. Stop going to McDonald's, stop going to Chick-fil-A. Stop going, if you're in the West Coast, stop going to In-N-Out. Stop going to Wendy's. Stop going to Zaxby's, Shake Shack. Stop going to these places. These are foods that are highly processed, lots of saturated fats, lots of artificial sweeteners in the drinks, high, super high calories for one meal, super high calories, and tons of sodium, packed with sodium. And this is gonna have, sodium has such a negative impact, or too much bad sodium has such a negative impact on your body in terms of water retention, bloating, just how you feel. You're gonna feel sluggish. So just avoid fast food and start cooking at home. Find ingredients. There's so many ways to find really good recipes online, TikTok, Tasty, just Google. So many things, so many places you can find really good healthy recipes that are easy to make. My next tip is not to overwork yourself. When you're on a weight loss journey, it can be really easy to get addicted, especially as you start to see the results that you want. But if you're feeling tired, and not just tired like, oh, I feel like tired, I don't want to go today to the gym, but if you feel like my body is just running out of gas, running out of fuel. And for me, when I feel that way, I know I'm not going to get in a good workout and it's time to take a rest day. I've learned to take rest days and to not feel bad about it, because you can just take a rest day and get back into it the next day or the day after that. Make sure to accept your breaks. Accept your breaks, embrace them, but also make a plan and follow through with getting back into the gym after that break. For me, when it comes to weighing in, I weigh in bi-weekly. So I weigh in once every 2 weeks. For me, weighing in every week can allow me to become a bit too obsessed with my weight loss. That's what I do. I don't recommend weighing in too often, and that's just my personal opinion. I used to be someone who weighed myself very often. This was before I had kids. And it's really not healthy to be so critical of your weight. And when you're on a weight loss journey, 1 week you might lose like half a pound, and the next week you might lose 2 pounds. So for me, it's like I'm saving up those pounds so that I can really see the result after 2 weeks. So I weigh myself every second Saturday, and that works for me. And I track it all. Make sure to track your weight and measure yourself like every month or every 2 months, just to keep track. As you start to lose weight, you will see it, and you will see that your clothes don't fit the same. I've already had to donate and get rid of so many clothes that just don't fit me anymore, and it's the best feeling. My last tip for weight loss is to keep going and remember why you're doing it. For me, my motivation is I want to look and, more importantly, feel my best. I know that I want to feel strong, and of course I also want to look strong. And another reason is so that I can be the best version of myself for my kids. Being healthier and more fit has already had a positive impact on my kids because I'm just more willing to do active things with them. Just taking them out for a walk or just playing. I just feel like I have a lot more energy, and that to me is priceless. Another thing I want to mention is to not worry about what you see on social media. People edit their bodies, they get surgeries, and so just because someone that you see is in the fitness world doesn't mean that they've achieved that naturally. I'm all about natural. I don't believe in Ozempic. I don't believe in taking drugs or doing this or doing crazy diet fads. I just believe in consistency. I believe in committing and doing things that build a lifestyle that you can maintain for the rest of your life so that you can be healthy, not just for your kids, but for your grandkids. That's how I look at it, and so I'm really excited to continue this journey. Like I said, this is how I looked when I started. This is how I look currently, and we are gonna keep going. I have about 30 more pounds to lose. Once I hit 60 pounds lost, I'm gonna do an update video. I'm gonna share that. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really wanted to film this because I know that having kids, there's just so much that goes into it, and postpartum and dealing with your body changes, it's just a lot. Me personally, after having kids, my body just held on to that weight. But I found a way that works for me. Once I hit my goal weight, I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. I might wanna get even more lean, maybe like lose another 5 pounds and really lean out, or I might wanna just focus on strength building and then going from calorie deficit to calories that will maintain my weight. So anyways, if you're interested in seeing another video or any other updates, make sure to comment down below any questions you have about my weight loss. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something from it. And remember, you can do this. I was once in a mindset where I felt like I could not achieve it, and even losing 30 pounds, it's a lot of weight, I felt like I couldn't do it, but I just kept going. You're gonna see changes within a month. There's a saying, I think that, what is the saying? It's like 2 weeks, you'll feel it, 4 weeks, you'll see it, 6 weeks, others will see it. So 6 weeks, and then you just keep going, and it's really a learning experience. So keep getting information, learning, expanding your knowledge about fitness, about health, about nutrition, and you can achieve the weight loss goals that you have 100%. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.